Boo.
Beautiful tree, buddy. Is
that
it
a real
real?
tree? Yeah, I was gonna ask something.
My tree?
Yeah.
Not real. It's real to me. It brings out real emotions.
Yeah.
Do you think my tree is real?
Tree
I
in
think
probably
yours
20 years.
is very real, Mike.
You think mine's real?
I think the
It looks real.
Nutcracker is real. I
The
think
Nutcracker is
your
The Nutcracker comes to life and hangs.
we're
with me.
50-50 on putting up a tree this year because we have 2 new kittens that will most likely literally tear it down.
Do you always do a real tree or do you do a fake tree?
No, it's always fake. It's always fake.
This one's a little different, but we had a tree that we used to not put the bottom rung on, and then we did this weird tape thing so the cats couldn't climb up it.
Hilarious. To me, it's worth then not putting up a tree and not looking like I have a garbage tree in my house.
No, because then they win, Kristin.
Hey everybody, my parents immigrated from Poland in 1995 and brought with them their cultures and traditions. And you should subscribe to it. And if we were in a relationship where I proposed to you, you should have to follow my family's traditions and not yours. What is it?
What do you mean?
It's been a long, exhausting day. Your troubles just won't go away. One thing that gets you through these is watching cheesy holiday movies. You think that you're above them, but you know that you love them. So get ready to listen. Now here comes Kevin and Kristin. Oh yeah.
Mike, I was believing you. And that's me, one of your hosts, Gullible Chris.
Yeah, I also am one of your hosts, Gullible Kevin.
And I'm Trickster and sometimes here, sometimes not. Host Mike G, and here's my.
Also, I'm double mugging, guys. Double
You're,
mugging.
you're mugging for me because I have my water bottle.
Double mugs.
Okay.
Guys, we watched 3 awesome Christmas movies this weekend. Red One, Spirited, and Muppets Christmas Carol.
That is a very good
watch.
You made us watch other Christmas movies that were not as awesome, Kevin.
Oh my god, I didn't make anyone do. Look, we don't make money on this, so
No, we don't. No, we don't. For those at home who are thinking, "Wow, they must be so rich."
Can we start? So we do have a lot of fans that watch us and get excited when we post, right? Because they want to hear our opinions, and that's the point of this.
That's really nice.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, and we try not to come in too super like hot negative wise. But this was just, I think we could just start off by saying, so you don't click us off right away. It was just an interesting weekend. It was a wild weekend that we're going to talk about now more specifically. But yeah,
agreed.
All of these movies, I think what I learned this weekend is all of them are bad in a way that like your favorite horror movies are bad, or your favorite like comedies from the 90s are bad, right? And there's a range, and these were just particularly on the tough side of things, I think. So that was my preface for our fans.
No, that's nice because people are like, I guess I'll keep listening.
Yeah,
and we watch a lot. We watch a lot of them.
Yeah,
and I think that has something to do with it. Like you can get a little burned out and a little like, oh god, they're not doing this thing again. And there was a lot of that this weekend.
I honestly got to be honest. I feel. Did I just say honestly? I got to be honest.
Honestly. I've got to be dishonest.
And this is where I tell a lie. Yeah. No, I that burnout factor, Mike, for me typically comes deep into December. Never this early, but it was not a great weekend.
Yeah.
Correct. And I'll say this, like I don't compare the movies to other movies unless I see like similar things. Does that make sense? Where I'm like, oh, that happened in that. But like, it's exhausting to hear everyone on the, what do you call that? The Book of Faces, literally being like, what are these? Yeah. I like the other ones. Okay, well then shut up and watch the other ones.
Yeah.
No, that's a very good point. You have to remove yourself from the other ones and kind of just judge it as it is.
It's the same thing that I did with my favorite movie, Ghostbuster 1 and 2. I consider them the same, like it's one thing to me. So when they started coming out with all these other Ghostbusters, I was like, all right, open mind. Yep. Open mind.
True.
I like them all.
2, hot take. Ghostbusters 2, not that great a Ghostbuster.
Don't
Ghostbusters 1, perfect.
Is this what the podcast is tonight? Are we going to debate?
Oh,
Because that is Christmas.
I think the podcast is that, unfortunately, even if you remove yourself from the like other things that have come before, there were still some rough additions this week.
Rough edges and middles.
Middles? So what did we watch first, Kevin?
Yeah.
So on Friday night, some of us made it all the way through. November 15th at 8 o'clock, we had Christmas with the Singhs.
Does your family celebrate Christmas?
Are you kidding?
Your family, your traditions, your culture. They're all part of what make you, you.
Do you like spicy food?
Good luck.
Christmas with the Singhs.
Directed by, as always, I'm going to butcher names. It's nice to butcher all names of all ethnicity. So directed by Panta Mosley, I believe. Mosley. Written by Patricia Isaac and Emily Ting, and starring... Anyone want to help me with this one?
I would say Anuja.
You're like the mom. You're like the Irish mom from the film.
Yeah.
Kevin,
My guess is
very good job of
my guess is Anuja.
Okay, Anuja Joshi.
Anuja Joshi.
And Benjamin Hollingsworth, which
we know.
I don't want to make fun of Benjamin's name, but that does sound like the name of a dog. Benjamin Hollingsworth. Yeah.
Get your cute behind in here.
Who pooped on the floor? Benjamin
Hollingsworth on Mummy's carpet.
Hey, we liked Benjamin. The Santa Summit. I feel like we liked. We really liked.
We did.
Yeah. We liked Benjamin. We liked Benjamin.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
And there's a lot of firsts happening here. Like this was directed by the director of 12 Dares of Christmas, which is not a Hallmark movie, but
I was gonna say, I'm like, what?
But the writers, it's the first feature for Patricia Isaac, and Emily Ting had written, I believe it was a short called Girl Haunts Boy, but it might have been a feature film. But so you're not looking at like...
Oh, it was a feature film, and I watched it.
Was it a good one? That's a different.
I was hopeful, and then I was like, hey.
That was me on this, and I'm gonna full disclosure and let Mike and Kristin do the bulk of the talking. This is the first time in a very, very long time that I punched out on a Hallmark movie.
Which I will say don't tune out just yet. I think is insane, but again, and to give our watchers some backstory, we try very hard not to give our takes until we record.
Yeah.
But if a movie really affects us, it's just hard. It's hard.
There was a lot of text.
Kevin came in hard watching it live
Friday night. Kevin's like, I'm out.
And then I was like, I watched it this morning, and I immediately started to come back and be like, this is going to be great because I have the exact opposite opinion. But that's why we're here.
That's the thing. The first thing I wrote down was cute chemistry from the start, and then I get this message from Kevin. This is garbage.
These are my only notes from the movie because I did the first 3 minutes, and this is not. We exaggerate. Everyone exaggerates. This is not an exaggeration. The first 3 minutes of this movie, we are introduced to 9 characters, and I was like, "Oh my god, okay."
Yeah.
My biggest problem, even from the get-go, was I liked how they transitioned time in the course of 1 year.
I did too.
But because it was different. That was different. But my thing that drove me crazy was this felt the most movie of the week I've ever watched, because every shot was called a 2 shot where both characters are on, I almost said on stage, because that's what it felt like shooting a play. They're on screen talking back and forth. And I was like, I can't do 2 hours of this, even with all the Boston Hill commercials that are well produced, might I add. I was like, I'm out. So you guys, please.
That's interesting. Okay, so you actually, I thought you didn't like it for different reasons.
Yeah.
I thought, but it was actually more of just sort of aesthetics.
Oh my God, yes. And again, going back movie of the week, I can't speak to you, Mike, but I know Chris did. We watched Hot Frosty on Netflix this week, which is a movie of the week. It's the same production companies. It was not a Netflix produced show. It was picked up by Netflix. So it could have easily been on Hallmark or Lifetime or whatever. Mm-hmm. It ended up on Netflix. It's incredibly well shot. And I guarantee you they shot in the course of about 2 weeks, which is what a movie of the week does.
Yeah. Well, I will say that once they got into I could have watched an entire movie of just the 2 of them.
Yeah.
I didn't need any of their family. because I felt like there again. Also, the funniest thing that I thought this movie, I was like, I actually got mad when that one aunt actually spoke. Like I was like, no, keep up with the bit. Don't have any of this other family that's here for literally no reason except to fulfill most likely a delightful cultural sort of thing that the creator wrote, but then give those people meat, not just like it made them fluff. And I actually got mad because then I'm like, no, now you're culturally appropriating these family members just for being there. It was very bizarre. Very bizarre.
So wait, you wanted them to talk or not to talk?
I wanted them either no, what I want is that there's less characters that have meat to them so I can care about them.
Yeah.
Or if you're going to bring in 300 extras, then don't have them talk at all. And that's the bit.
Yeah, because it did feel like cultural appropriation a few times. Now, I also then, after watching it, reflected and I was like, but because, no offense, Hallmark, is a little behind in representing cultures in general, and we always are happy when even other cultures are represented. I was like, you know what? At least they found a storyline for Indian culture. Now, I did do some research, and it knocked me down a couple of pegs because I was like, you know what? Maybe there are a lot of Indian people that have converted to Christianity. So, Kevin, I know you're upset about the Christian pushing the Christianity is the best.
I was excited because you could have made this more about Diwali, even though
oh my god, it would have been so good. I think if they were actually Hindu and it was like, oh, you're in our family, and yeah, the timelines are a little different, right? Diwali's earlier in December than Christmas.
Yeah,
so
it's actually November. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So, but I looked it up, and there's it's like the smallest percentage of Indian people are actually Christian or have converted to Christianity. Obviously, a lot in America, maybe.
And then Hallmark.
And then, I know, and then the woman who wrote it, queer Canadian, Muslim Canadian, which is amazing.
Yeah,
it's also not Indian, so there was some things I was like, ooh, I wish it was like an Indian writer who grew up Christian and and that's and a lot of people have done that, and that's not the case. So that felt a little contrived for sure. And the music, anytime the music hit, I was like, is that a real song or is that like somebody in a MIDI file just being like, make it sound Indian?
That was rough.
Hurt a little bit. Hurt a little bit. That all being said, I thought it was still very nice. And it felt like a real situation in real life where the Anglo, if you will, like Christian white person comes home to a different ethnicity.
Hollingsworth, we call him.
Don't put it on him. Don't put it on him. I think he did a great job. Comes home and it's this awkward thing where it's like your culture, my culture. I actually thought that was nice.
There were some really nice scenes of where it's like, no, he's gonna wear this, and it's like, well, no, actually, we've been I get that we're just a bunch of white people, but we also have this culture of, I don't know. Now I sound like a white person bitching about culture.
You are.
I think it was nice. I think they did a good job. I think it was admirable that they were like, well, this is the culture that is their culture, being Indian was important for them and that neighborhood kind of in that family. Yeah. But don't then discount the other family.
This is the pattern of our grandfather, from Scotland and stuff. Like it's just as valued. Yeah. And I will say that I also laughed so hard when I knew immediately that they were going to fall asleep watching that movie and someone was going to come down. I laughed so hard at how bad and dumb because he covered the little boy's eyes. And I was like, they're fully dressed. They weren't even spooning. I
remember going to my parents' house who are just not any ethnicity other than white Christian. And they were too, it was the big thing of no, you can't share the room with them. And it was awkward if we were cuddling. So I think it's a thing that kind of happens.
I guess.
In very strict, religious, not even just Christian, strict religious families. And that's what it was. It was really I saw it more as strict religious versus liberal Christmas celebrators. is how I like to kind of view the movie. And it played better for me that way.
That strong tradition of really of Christianity, because like one of the kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back for me was the fact that he didn't ask the father's permission to marry his daughter. And it took me back to, and it was great because like his response of, are you serious? Like people still do that. There's an amazing scene in Brooklyn Nine-Nine of all shows where Jake Peralta calls and leaves a message on Amy Santiago's father's cell phone, where he basically says, she's her own person, can make up her own, but I hope that, and that's what I think of when I think of the concept of, do you ask a person's permit? Like nobody owns this person.
No, it's a tradition that's been carried because of that may continue, that women are owned, but so it is. It's like, it's
a tough one. That's a tough one.
It is tough because
it is sort of like a family thing. I see it as a family respect versus
I
like
think
a
it's
father
fine
giving his daughter away or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine to tell the parents before.
Tell them. I think that it's not about asking.
Yeah,
right.
Because I do know that John respectfully called both my parents and then my brother, because my brother was kind of like a father figure to me after we lost my first dad. So like. It was like sort of just this thing of like, not may I marry Kristin? It's just like, hey, in the next few months, I just want to let you guys know. Like, and again, like, there's no way that if one of them said no, John would have been like, okay, never mind.
I was the same way. I told Julie's dad that I was going to do this. I didn't really ask. I already had the ring. So if he was like, no, I'd have been like, well, that's it, dude, because I got this. So, but it was just, I don't know, that took me back from 2024. I don't know, maybe like you said, Chris, maybe we are there, but it took me back to like 2009 Hallmark moment.
I know.
I do think they treated it well at the end though, because they did have Asha stand up for herself and say to the father straight to his face, like, no matter what you say, I'm going to marry him. And there were those moments throughout. I know you turned it off early, Kevin. I think you actually maybe did yourself a little bit of a disservice, because I thought it was a very mature movie. It was a new choice by Hallmark to have them kiss up front and not delay this whole thing and have them not fall in love until the end. So I thought that was super nice. It became about the family. It became about the engagement. It became about traditions. And I think their chemistry was really good on screen. I think we all sort of agree there. Chris, you really liked them as well. And they treaded very carefully with this like awkward culture thing. You know what I mean? And let the younger generation, if you will, like stand up for themselves, whether they were white or Indian or woman or man. And I thought that was nice. And so ultimately, I enjoyed this movie, even though it had its cultural appropriation sort of issues.
It wasn't my least favorite of the weekend.
Yeah.
What did we watch?
Good segue.
What did we watch next, Kevin?
All right. So you guys are thumbs up.
I thought it was you could skip it, but I think I actually think if you are of the Indian culture and looking for a nice holiday movie and you don't mind the sort of forced Christianity on you a little bit, it actually was
There's
nice.
always Hot Frosty if you don't want that.
Stop promoting other shows.
I'm going to talk about Red One in a minute. So then on Saturday, November 16th at 8 o'clock, we watched Jingle Bell Run.
Promise me you won't get mad when I tell you what I did.
No. You signed me up for a race?
Guess who's the next contestant on the Great Holiday Dash?
Ready to meet your teammates?
It's the Christmas Dream Team you'll be cheering for.
I think we make an exceptional team.
Sorry.
We're not losing, okay? We're not losing. We're not going to lose.
Jingle Bell Run.
Directed by Lucy Guest, who directed Sealed with a List. Written by Tom McCurry, who wrote Making Spirits Bright, and Stephanie, I'm not going to say your last name even closely right, but also a writer of Making Spirits Bright, and starring Ashley Williams from Sister Swap and 2 Tickets to Paradise.
Play it.
I've got 2 tickets to paradise.
And our good friend Drew, I guess you guys call him Andrew,
Wow.
from Christmas Island and the Curious Caterer series.
Does he prefer Drew?
That's
listen, we're friends.
Yeah, I know you all talk to him even way more than I do. Is he likes Drew, but his official name is Andrew Walker?
But I don't think he's never said to me, call me Drew.
He's called me Kev, so I feel I can call him Drew.
That might be true.
I feel like comment down below if you have a friend that has a name that they hate their short version of, because I know a lot of people, and that's one of them. I feel like the Andrew Drew thing, where you're like, no, I'm Andrew.
No, I know his friends call him Drew. Andrew W. Walker is his name on IMDb. So
Yeah.
I was just
yeah. Also, I don't know if this was Andrew Walker. I think this was Andrew Walker's evil twin.
Oh.
Evil. Listen. Here we go.
Yeah.
This movie had its like, what are we gonna do? Right? Like there was a big idea, huge idea. And creating that much shenanigans, having them travel to that many places, having that many obstacles and quizzes and things in one movie is a lot. So I appreciate the load. I don't think it fully successfully hit its peaks. No. However, I thought that Andrew did such a really cool job with trying someone new that we've never seen him play, but then getting to watch him develop. Yeah. I feel like we haven't seen a male character in one of these movies actually develop to something. So that's my biggest takeaway from this movie is like the growth of a person in this movie.
You don't feel that in Christmas with the Darlings that Carlo Marx develops from the first time we see him to the end when he's fighting snowmen?
I guess.
Oh, he develops, my friend.
He develops. But so, and then Ashley Williams is literally the most joyful human being on the planet.
Yeah.
So I have no beef with either of them. I have some beef with how much they tried to throw in this movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
However, I have funny things that I wrote down, but that's my overall sort of take on this is I love both of them individually. And I actually liked the younger girl and the mom combo. I thought they were very sweet.
Yeah.
And I have notes on the couple that ended up together.
I know. Ugh, it sucks. It sucks.
Was forced. It was so forced.
It was so forced. And it was literally forced on screen. Like the producers of the fake reality show were ha ha ha, we're gonna put the two gay guys together.
Yeah.
And it just felt so disingenuous. It was bad. And I felt bad because they did a great job, those two actors, like kind of
also
getting through it. But
you know how we talk about the Hallmark cinematic universe? Because because the one actor was Jonathan Bent. No. It was in the one movie. He played someone's husband in the Christmas House one where they're like, Jonathan Bennett, right? Yeah. Or no. Anyway, he plays his husband and they're like, they adopt that kid and stuff like that. I was like, I hope that's him. That now he's like up the ante.
Yeah, no, this is a prequel to that.
This is a prequel before he met.
The restaurant fails. Spoiler. Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you said there, Chris. My one thing about the film, I didn't think the film was I can't wait to hear Mike talk because I know Mike wasn't a fan, but it was of the three, it was the best, in my opinion, the best movie of the weekend.
100%.
My problem with it stems from what you said, Chris, about the traveling. I mean, that's a real thing. Our friend Ari owns a company and they do that. It's it's not a TV thing, but you go in, you pay, and then I think you win your money back or something. But there's like games and stuff that are involved with the travel.
That's cool.
My problem was like they would have to solve these clues, and then you would see them all on the airplane. It's like, well, they all solved it.
We kept joking. We're like, just follow the people that got it.
Done any work.
Do not try anything.
Yeah.
Like, how did those two people not get on the plane? That was like the first thing. Yeah, do you have more, Kevin, before I say?
My only thing that I would say is I feel like the actors were stronger than the director in that I think that Ashley Williams and Andrew Walker probably did I don't want to say shenanigans, but they played their characters in a way that a really strong director would have been able to really make this work.
Yeah.
But it felt like, I'm not saying they hijacked the film, but it felt like it was more about watching them as opposed to watching this story.
This felt like Ashley Williams and Andrew Walker already had another better movie coming up this season, and someone at some point was like, "Oh my God, we have one more space to fill.
Yeah.
What can we like try to pull off with some randos that we have on set right now?" Yeah. Like that's how bad, and I thought like contrived and not like committed this was. And to all your points, we love Drew Walker. We love Ashley. They smile and they look at each other and you're like, great, why is this not? And I think that's what frustrated me more, actually. So to credit to them and to your point, Kevin, like with a better script or whatever, or director, this might have done, like, I was like, how is this not working for me? Like, and it's because there was just no stakes. I had like no investment. It was you knew they were going to win. You knew they were going to give the money to like, I don't know. And the games were so bad. The opening sequence for the show, this is whatever that was called. I don't know.
Yeah.
The Santa Jingle Race or whatever.
Yeah.
Was
the
all
Jingle
these
Bell
shots,
Run. The dash. Yeah.
Yeah. Was all these shots of like people doing like mountain climbing and skiing, and then they just were hitting hockey pucks into. It was a carnival. If this was just like a small town, every year our small town, which I'm sure they've made this movie before, does this crazy scavenger thing in the jiggy. It would have been cute.
Right. Yeah. You could have done all of those activities in 1 hour.
It was just, it was bad. And then all the shots to like, here, now we're in San Francisco. And it was just them.
I loved that they had to go to Santa Fe to find out where they had to go. That's basically to hit a pinata and go, now we have to go to Portland.
Yeah, they didn't even do it. Oh, man.
They had to go to Denver. And he was like, "Oh my God, we're gonna ski!" But it was like, "No, we set up these things that you have to hit a puck through that they could have done anywhere. Like it was bad. It was just bad. Unfortunately, like the game was bad, and that just ruined it for any other thing. Like anytime they talked or were like, "Well, also like I'm a failed hockey player." His rival was out after 2 rounds. Like, did they not pay that guy?
There were the stakes.
God.
They got rid of the stakes.
Yeah.
And like I felt like because her sister signed her up, she didn't have stakes at all.
Yeah.
I think she should have signed up because her school needed the money.
Right. Which is what they kind of back-ended
into. Yeah, they back-ended into.
So like again, it is not our pal Drew. It is not on our lovely, joyful Ashley. It is
our pal. Yeah.
This story where the 3 of us are gonna rewrite it, and then maybe we reshoot it.
I also thought, like, unfortunately, because of the story, I didn't really feel a lot of chemistry between them, and that was not because of them as actors; it was the characters. Yeah. I thought it would have been better if they just were like, "Wow, you know what? We both learned a lot about ourselves.
We're buds.
We're buddies. Like we're friends. You know what I mean? I'm gonna fall in love with this other person that you need to flirt with more. The younger girl. Like I think she had a better chemistry with.
I had no problem with them romantically getting together. I wish that they had lost. Like that's as I was watching it, I was like, because to your point, Chris, about stakes, she was looking to fundraise essentially. That's she used it as he needed nothing. Like not financially anyhow. He just needed the next thing in his life. Yeah. Whereas she was like, and she could now fundraise because he's famous and can help fundraise. So I was rooting for the gay couple because a restaurant's incredibly expensive. And Julie even said, but there's nothing like about opening a restaurant that's like noble. So I will say, like, I like that they were going to give their money away essentially. But I really did want someone else to win because it was more. Yeah. But
it would that would have been a bit way better. Yeah, if someone else won and then said, "Oh, and also,
I will." Yeah, but
I'm going to give to your school. It would have started a lot.
If the arch rival won, if like the team we all didn't like the whole time, if for some reason they won, and then everyone was like, "Oh, good job," and then they were like, "Well, actually, through this whole journey, we've gotten to know all of you. Here's $1 million for your school. Here's $1 million for your hockey team." That would have been. We fixed it.
My favorite thing. I know we would have came close. It would have came close.
Yes.
My thing that I liked it was another. I have these issues with these movies a lot, where they have an idea and they just like don't go through with it. Was the reality show element, right? So they had them do some interviews that were cute, and I felt like maybe they were improvising. I was like, did anybody write a script for this or what?
Yeah.
And then also
that's the next movie, Mike. That's the next movie.
Oh, good. I haven't seen this one, so I'll stop talking. The third one. But when the producer or whoever he was came up and was like, you got to do this thing, blah, blah. I was like, ooh, like this is good. Like these are things that would happen on this show that would ruin relationships and get people yelling at each other. And they did it quick, but they just really didn't lay into that. They laid into the games that were terrible. And so you just kept being like, oh, yeah, another bad game.
I know.
And it would have been really fun to see the behind the scenes of a reality show.
And that's where the drama was.
Yeah, that's where the drama was.
It was very manufactured, and to your point, very like quick.
Yes.
It is interesting because they could have made it that like they did have to go down a black diamond. And all we saw was like them finishing and then like the behind the scenes of everything. Like we didn't need to see the activities. We want to see the people in there, like, you know, this.
It was the same problem with the trivia at St. Nick's, where it was like, we don't care about the question of the trivia. Because every time you drop one,
it was nothing but trivia. I just
it was so bad. But the point was they were like, and the question is, what are the ingredients in this obscure thing that you all just worked on last scene? You're like, ugh. Instead of just like a fun montage, then leading to the relationship and what was actually going on. Yeah.
I do want to bring up before we pivot off of this movie when dear friend Drew was handing out gifts. There was a point beforehand I was like, her daughter is dead, because
her daughter is dead
about it. And then he gives the reindeer book and she goes, Gracie, he goes, I think your daughter would like this. And she goes, she would like this, or she would have liked this. And I was like,
that was so bad.
She had died 2 years before.
Yeah.
And now she was taking this new girl as almost like her daughter. And I was like, man, Hallmark is just modifying its 2-year rule.
Yeah.
Now you can get remarried. And they're like, literally like, now you can have another kid.
You can have another kid.
That was the scene that I was convinced they just threw it together last minute because they had to fill space. Because the books were like kind of like tattered. Like they were, you could tell they were like in a prop department. They're like, I don't know, the dead girl likes reindeers. You're a writer, you get a journal, and you're gay restaurants and cook.
Here's a gay restaurant book.
Yeah, it was a cookbook with eggnog recipes. I was like, cookbook.
And then I also love that they're like, they all had to leave for her to open an ornament.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, Chris, as the resident identifying woman on the panel, like what you would have thought of that gift. It felt not great.
It wasn't good.
The biggest out of all the deal. If he was just like, oh, ha ha ha, and like, look, you got directions wrong, so I got you this gold-plated map or something. If it was something cutesy, I think it would have been, but it was a generic.
And it's also like in the shape of I was like, oh, maybe it's a necklace. Maybe it's, or something, or maybe, I don't know. But then she opened it, and I'm assuming it's a Hallmark ornament, but Hallmark do better. Like, it was really ugly.
It was ugly.
But also, before we move to the next one, my two favorite parts that made me literally laugh out loud were Andrew's character, Wes, doing that, like, pump-up video at the start.
Yeah.
I died. I died for 5 minutes on my couch laughing so hard. Then I rewound it and then recorded myself just laughing again. The other part that I liked that I need when we have Andrew on, I need to ask him if he got to improvise when he woke up from his sleeping in the car and he was like, macaroni and cheese. I think he said, did he say macaroni and cheese?
No, he said the name of the drink, of the sport drink that he wanted to advertise.
The hilarious that you thought it was macaroni and cheese. There was definitely a lot of improvisation in this that didn't play. And then that moment was so funny for Andrew Walker, right? To be just like, oh, I'm a bro, and here's my thing. And then it just dropped, like wasn't that character anymore on the reality show. I think it would have been funny if he kept that for a while and was like this bro guy, and they kept the rival there.
Yeah.
They just dropped it and went into like this generic formula, and it wasn't good.
Yeah. Oh my God. I wanted him just to be such a bro the whole time.
This might be my lowest of the season, unfortunately.
Yeah, no!
Yeah.
Dude, it's not even the worst of the
You've
week.
you've all watched more than me, and I didn't see it tonight, but I did think Christmas to Singhs was more enjoyable than this one. So sorry.
Wow. That's okay. Hey, to each their own.
Wow.
Again, not because of Andrew Walker or Ashley Wilson.
I think when we have Andrew on, we can't have Mike here. They'll probably get into a fight.
No, unless he's like, I know. We were really, we worked harder on 2 wiser men and a boy.
3. There's 3 wiser men.
Sorry.
They kicked someone out. I don't know. You gotta tune in to find out who. And then on Sunday night, finally, we watched Sunday, November 17th at 8 p.m. We watched Confessions of a Christmas Letter.
This year, we're finally going to make the Wall of Fame.
It's winner takes all
This is the moment.
in the ultimate Christmas competition.
I think we're going to need an expert.
So I traveled all this way to write a Christmas card.
Letter.
Angela Kinsey stars.
All hands on deck. Let's go, let's go.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. At least you make it look cute.
Confessions of a Christmas Letter.
Directed by Heather Hawthorne Doyle, who directed #Christmas, Xmas, I guess.
Well, that explains it.
This is confusing to me. Written by Jennifer and Kate Smith. I cannot find any information on Kate Smith. In fact, the IMDb attaches to Kate Smith, the singer, who is long since died in like the 60s. So I don't know who this Kate Smith is. I don't know if they're a couple, a mother-daughter, sister. I have no idea what they can, or just happen to have the same last name.
I hope it's a ghost of the singer that died.
It might be. Well, I mean, when we talk about it, it's very possible. But starring Angela Kinsey from The Office and Alex Santos from Campfire Christmas. There are other people in this. We'll get to them, maybe.
Let's
love
talk
this.
about it. Okay, so it's important to know that, Mike, you didn't watch any of it, right?
Unfortunately not.
Don't say that. You're fine.
I was stuck at my theater tonight helping things. And the immediate, I just want to set this context up before Kevin and Chris go. They both were like, don't worry, you didn't miss anything. Here we go.
So, and I had rehearsal and then a dress rehearsal to watch. So I didn't start watching till 9. I turned it on, and the first thing I see is the delightful Angela Kinsey, like just walking through assumably a party, and like I guess there was supposed to be music playing, but it was like an interview.
Yeah.
And then they all started singing Jingle Bells. Wrong.
Jingle Bells would have been better.
And I literally was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And then the next scene was this dude that I don't think had an accent in Campfire Christmas.
Yeah.
Was like, I am writing and typing and talking at the same time. Like, one writer sits at their computer and says, this is my story. I am talking it out loud as I am typing it.
Yeah. This was rough, man. I don't even know. It's funny because as I'm watching, I'm thinking to myself, this reminds me of an improvised story. Good time to plug, Kristin, but I don't want you to get mixed up.
No, I don't want to be. I don't want.
But then I was like, you know what? It feels more like. Did you guys ever do free writing or free writing association?
Yes.
You just put a pen to paper.
Yeah.
And keep going.
Yeah.
That's what this script felt like. And there was a point we had it on for, I don't know, like 6 minutes or something like that. And Julie goes, can you pause this? And I hit pause and she goes, I don't understand what is happening. And I said, I don't either. But I think they're going to fill it in. And they kind of do. But what a messy script.
It was, and I'm so mad because they have a huge star in this.
Yeah.
Chris, I wanted to know if John watched it because he's such a huge Office fan, and Brian Baumgartner's in it.
He showed up.
Yeah, he was in it twice. He was in the opening and he shows up midway through.
John would have gotten angry.
Oh yeah. Well, he hates these movies.
He does. So that would have been the first anger. But like, I'm so mad that this is the script that they gave her.
Yeah. So this is what I would say about all of that. And I said this to Julie as we watched it. We opened the entire season of Remark where we talked about the lawsuit, age discrimination lawsuit that, oh my God, Lindsay, what's her name?
Lacey
Chabert. My brain always says it starts shouting Jennifer Love Hewitt. I'm like, that's what this is. And
Holly Robinson.
Both precious. Both precious.
My brain.
Thank God I can read Kevin's brain.
Yeah, you can.
That was pretty good. That was good.
But that's what this felt like. This would have been better because you have Angela Kinsey do a love story with an older couple. Like, why Hallmark's fan base is older. That's the way it is, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't see why they did the same thing with Beth Broderick and Carolyn Ray a couple weeks ago or last week, where it's this awful story and it's like, make it about them.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to go, but let's have this weird shoehorned in love story with this young couple who meet under the most bizarre. They're always their meet cutes are always.
But also just like bad chemistry.
Yeah.
When they were reading the scene together, because she's like auditioning for a play, why were they already sitting so close?
Yeah.
And that scene, she was like, should we try that last one again? Like they've never done it.
I know.
But then they kissed, and I was like, wait, this isn't the first time you've kissed.
I thought the exact same thing. But again, that's very improv-y, where like you say something and then because you edit, everything's edited on the fly.
Right.
That's what it felt like.
I was so mad, and it had my least favorite thing: a family watching you kiss.
Oh,
stop it
and clap,
and then they went in for more.
Yeah. Hey,
I'm out. Can we stop talking about it?
This is great. Yeah, I'll say I want to watch it now.
Yeah.
Would you both say that this is your least favorite movie the entire season?
Yes.
Close.
Yes,
you have to look at it. I know you want to look at it, but
it's tough because I bailed on Christmas with the Singhs, and I would have bailed on this had I not bailed on that.
Right, because
So
I'm gonna watch it tomorrow just to get my rankings in there, and
I might even go and watch the first hour tonight, like at falling asleep, because I only caught the second hour, and I because I don't even understand.
Yeah.
So this Christmas letter.
Yeah.
Who does she send it to?
Everyone. That's the thing. But they never really explain that. So I will tell you guys very quickly the opening, since you both missed it. She had written her letter. They give them to Brian Baumgartner, who is basically like the postmaster general of the town. He works at the post office. And I guess he decides who wins the letter of the town. His cousin or sister, whoever Sue is, he was related to her. And she always wins. And then we find out, scandalous, Sue's husband.
Her husband wrote them.
Yeah.
We're spoiling everything for Mike.
No, that's okay. What's hilarious is I'm listening to you and I still don't understand.
Yeah,
like I'm actively listening. I'm hearing the words you're saying. It was the same thing when I watched the trailer for it. I'm like, wait, what is going on?
Don't tell me. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah,
I want to see how this Juan got in this storyline in the first place.
Maybe I love it. Maybe it'll be one of those weird things where I'm like, it was great, y'all.
Yeah.
I loved him.
I hope you do. There is aspects of a story here. The two pieces I will say from the film for me, one, they wear the same pajamas every single day, and they're not doing laundry, so those pajamas be stinking.
No, because those onesies, you don't breathe. Nowhere.
Your farts collect. They just collect.
We've all worn a onesie 2 days in a row. Come on.
This was like 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. That's a lot.
This was like 2 weeks leading up to Christmas.
It starts on the 10th and it ends on the 21st. Okay. So 11 days of farts filling a onesie. You gotta air it out. The other thing was, there's this one scene, I don't want to spoil if you guys do ultimately watch it, but there's this one scene that was more reminiscent of like Christmas House or Deck the Halls, that Deck Those Halls, that felt like I would have made it more about this. Like there's like a homeowner association feel to it, but not quite. And it was like, I would have leaned more into that sort of stuff, because there's a shot that should have been awesome and funny. And in my opinion, I was just like, just watch those onesies, man.
Just speaking of onesies.
Hey.
Speaking of onesies.
What a segue.
Roll the clip. Thank you you so much. Welcome to H3O, where we're going to objectify the 3 male leads that we witnessed in these films this weekend. Now, this is 0 out of 10, or 1 out of 10 Heinies. 10 being Tyler Hines, a 0 being the dad from Christmas with the Singhs. I finally figured out who the 0 is.
Wow. We got to add that in. Can I give Big Dad from Christmas with the Singhs at least like a 1.3?
Fine.
Great.
Whatever.
I thought he did a good job.
I wanted to murder him. Yeah. All right. So our first up, there he is.
Yeah.
It's our friend Ben Hollingswood. So we saw him in Santa Summit last year. I don't remember what our score was last year. Kev, you could easily pull that up.
Scores, yeah.
I can look it up while you guys talk about it because I'm definitely going to recuse myself from this one since I didn't finish it.
Oh, great. Okay. So Mike, you go first, buddy.
I'll go first because I think I like this movie the best out of everybody.
Okay.
Oh my god, now I'm like really remembering Santa Summit. That was so cute. I love that one.
It was very cute,
and he was so good in it. And I really liked him in this too. Despite sort of the problems we had with it. I thought he was nice. I thought he was reasonable. I thought he like listened to her. They're like romance happened super quick, which I thought was awkward in the beginning. Like I actually really didn't like the first 10 minutes. And then once they kissed and did the montage, I was like, ooh, I'm in. Like I'm back. I'm back in on this. And he had the right reactions at the right time and was reasonable, but also listened to her and was also understanding and fought and like kowtowed to the parents when he needed, like her parents when he needed to, stood up for his parents when he needed to. I think he played everything right. He's going pretty high for me. I was looking back at my previous scores. I gave the trivia I'd say Nick's dude last week 7.1, so I got to go higher than that. He's got my highest ranking of the season. I'm going 7.3 for
wow.
Can I tell
you? He's got cute dimples. He looks cute in the combo vest. And I don't know the official name of the.
I forget what they refer.
Yeah. I thought he was cute and great.
You previously gave him an 8.7, so this is not for him.
I'm keeping it low. I'm keeping things like
I get it.
Like this
I get it.
Yeah, I want to have the
next
bar.
week. Next weekend.
Woo!
So yeah, I didn't hate this dude. I like the cut of his jib.
Yeah.
I think at times, what I really liked about their relationship is even when the bad stuff with their families happened, I liked that they reconnected and were like, whoa. Like I did like that this guy was actually someone that talked about his emotions, and I liked that. So I'm going to give him a 7, a solid 7.
Nice.
Good score.
That's down 2 from the last time, Chris. You gave him a 9.
Listen.
Yeah.
That was a good movie.
I loved it. And he was so good. So good.
Yeah.
So cute.
That's what writing can do for an H3O rating. So Kevin, you're abstaining?
I'm going because I really didn't watch it. So what would I be going by? I will say I gave him an 8.5 in Santa Summit. So if I had watched it, perhaps I would have given him a higher. I do want to say that I am giving a 9 to J.K. Simmons because I saw Red One that night as well, and he is a sexy Santa.
Stop with Red One.
Get out of here.
About Red One. It was supposed to be straight to video, and I don't know what happened.
Don't even bring Chris Evans into this because that's a different caliber.
We've praised him before. That's right.
We're gonna rank the Chris's. Okay.
So next up,
drum roll, please.
Ring.
Oh yeah.
Listen,
Drew.
I can't even handle the hair.
Middle part.
I can't even handle it.
Middle part.
There's something about it I find charming. So this is our friend Andrew Walker, and I'll go first.
Yeah.
I think. So listen, I spoke earlier about this journey of a character. Like, this is hard because we do take into consideration typically when someone's like one of those like D-bags from the start and then they kind of get like a redemption. I'm like, ugh, why'd they have to be a D-bag from the start? But this I felt was different. He needed to be a douchey dude from the start.
I like where
he was. I can't wait to talk about. I don't think he was a douchey dude at all.
No, I like where you're going, Kristin. Yeah, he was putting it on to be like, I'm a celebrity. I have to.
I have to be like this. And then when he realized, I don't want I don't actually need these fans.
Yeah.
And I don't need like, wow, I forgot that I was a human being without being a hockey celebrity. And people are appreciating it for. So anyway, this arc I really liked a lot. And golly, what a beautiful human.
What do you think about, can I ask you before you drop the score, what do you think about this highly brunette part down the middle, James Vanderbeek? Not your favorite walker?
It's not my favorite walker. It's not my favorite walker, but I'm not mad at it because here's the thing. If when it was kind of tousled and messed without being parted by accident, I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
When it ends up in that part, because the one on the left and the one on the right, it's the one in the middle that I'm like, duff.
Yeah, the sweater was good.
Yeah. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's you. You gotta say it.
I can tell you what you gave him last time in Christmas Island.
I'm gonna give him a 9.2.
Whoa!
Damn, Christmas Island, you gave him a 10.
You just broke our whole calibration for the season.
I'm sorry, but this man gives me my jingles are belling.
I mean, you gave him 3 photos. You can always tell by the amount of takes that the man gets what
like
Kristen's going to give him.
Searching the internet. This is nice. Oh, that's nice.
I appreciate she kept all of his clothes on in this.
This is the most clothed.
Can I tell you something so funny? Because this morning I'm like drinking my tea and John comes down and I literally had just typed in shirtless Andrew Walker in my Google search.
I know.
And then I felt ashamed, so I didn't post a shirtless photo.
Listen, that's a loss for all of us. So.
Who's next?
No,
we're not. Oh, yes.
So going to the douchey factor, I that first scene where they meet each other at the gym, they both were completely reasonable human beings.
Yeah.
Like she had her own personal circumstance happening that she couldn't get the machine to work. So she tries to go to the next one, but in that meantime, he gets on it and she's like, oh, my towel's there, I was going to use it. And at first he's like flustered, but he was never mean. He was like, oh, okay. So he goes to hers, gets it to work. Hers still doesn't work. He helps her get it to work. Then she gets competitive, which is funny. And it was like, okay, but they were both very cute. And I never felt until he finally said, hey, why don't you go to a different gym? I was like, what? Where did that come from? When I will there not parted down the middle.
Thank you, Mike.
This dude has incredible hair. And I want to talk to someone like Keith Costume and say, why would you put it like he wore a cowboy hat when they were in Santa Fe doing the line dancing bit? He wore the Santa hat when he was doing that. And it was like, okay, but like, can we not mess up this guy's sweet coif? Let it rock and roll.
I mean, both you boys are wearing a hat right now and you look very fetching.
I mean, yeah, the alternative is a high shine on my camera. So this is for y'all.
I got it on my forehead.
I dig him. I thought the character was fine. I thought he was very redeemable. You saw coming a mile away where there's going to be that weird, she only catches half of a conversation and then she leaves and it happened.
Yeah.
But I felt he was always kind of above that. So all that said, a 9, Chris? I mean, for my friend Andrew, I would say that for certain. And the fact that he had his Wawa coffee cup that we sent him on his wheel, hell yeah.
You got that Wawa coffee in there.
You know what? No, I can't do the 9.
Don't do it, Kevin.
8.7. I'm going to go 8.7.
Woo, that's still pretty high. That's still pretty high for you for this season.
It's true.
That's your highest. That's your biggest for this season.
Mike, I'm so scared for your score.
Listen, I'm trying to keep it super grounded. Remember, I set the bar with that dude from weeks ago with the 6, the average Hallmark guy. And I really loved Collinsworth. Was it Collinsworth? What's his last name? No, Hollinsworth. So I can't go higher than him.
Yeah.
You actually bumped me up, Chris, and Kevin, with your he wasn't a douche to start. He was putting that on because of his that's what he had to do.
Right.
Unfortunately, the movie just underserved this character, I think, all the way throughout. But I think our friend Andrew Walker rose above that. He does look good. Kevin, you also convinced me. He looks good in every outfit. He looks good in the red bomber jacket. He looks good in the cowboy hat. Yeah. So I gave a 7.3 before. I'm going to go 7.2. 7.2. It's still high. Still high for me. Still high for me for this season. And we got to leave room for 3 Wise Murder Men.
Yeah.
Mike also doesn't come from an area that is just littered with Wawas, so I get it. He doesn't have the Wawa.
Oh, that
didn't sway him.
That does nothing.
Next up, we had some other dude. I forget what his name is.
Alex Santos, I believe.
Yep, Alex Santos.
I found this picture with. So I made these pictures this morning before I watched this movie. And now I'm mad that I made this adorable cat part of this because this movie was so bad. I think he was putting on the accent. I'm correct, right? That is not that man's accent.
I don't know.
What kind of accent was he doing? Like a Eastern European?
No. He's from Puerto Rico. He comes from Puerto Rico in the movie.
Then I apologize, Chris, for your impression before.
Never judge. Don't base what.
He was born in Brazil, raised in America, so maybe he's got more of a natural Spanish accent and covers it up for certain things. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Born in Brazil.
I only watched an hour of this dude, and he literally did nothing the entire time.
If you only watched an hour, whatever your score is, you should double it. That's the way that mathematically works.
Fine, he gets a 4.
Whoa.
Wait, so an 8, or he originally got a 2 and now he has a 4?
No, he got a 2 because it was bad, y'all. I didn't you don't know anything about this dude. I didn't care about him. And I watched an hour.
Chris, are you gonna go back and watch it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be willing to bet your 4 comes up a bunch. He's the most likable character in the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Because he was like drowning in the family, and I was like, ugh.
So he's again, not to oversell what the movie is. He's a writer who's got writer's block. He wrote this novel; it did really well. He's a Puerto Rican writer, and his grandfather and his uncle, basically, Angela Kinsey's character wants him to come write this Christmas letter as a ringer because she thinks he's an amazing writer, and he doesn't want to do it, but his family is like, go do this, and because you have writer's block and it would be good for you, so he does, even against his own will. And I thought just that in and of itself, I was like, that's a gutsy thing for him to do at Christmas time, to go, okay, I'll go do this. I did not mind this character. It was everything that surrounded him, and there were moments where he really tried to ground like everything that was, all the crazy that was happening, and it immediately would fly right off the handle anyhow. So he had chemistry with the girl when he first met her in the
really?
They had chemistry, and it was funny and cute for a minute, and then it kind of just like disappeared, and it was like
it was like painful watching them do that acting audition thing together.
I know.
However, like looking at pictures of this dude online where he's not in Hallmark movies, I would give this dude a much higher score, but because all I see, he was just always in these goddamn pajamas.
Based on the character.
So fine, I'll give him a 5. I'll give him a 5.
Oh my gosh, this is all over the place.
I brought you up the whole point. I accept it. Look, I'm not going much higher than that.
Chris is going to give him a 2.
Yeah, I'm going to give him I'll go a little higher than my 6. I'll give him a 6.2 because I did like the character, but again, he was in this world of mess, and it was like it would take a really amazing character to kind of bring it above that. So I'll go 6.2.
I like it. I'm gonna abstain. I am gonna watch this because it sounds like it might be bad. And I want to make sure that it is really bad. So and I had a lot of 5.9s and 5.8s for some pretty good dudes last week. So he's probably gonna be. I predict that he'll be in a 5.1 range, or maybe even a 4.9. We'll see. I'll weigh in tomorrow. And
cool.
Yeah. All right.
And then finally we have.
There's an extra picture here. Oh, not again.
We did this. We did this already.
Come on.
No, I brought this up for a reason. They're on cruise number 2 this week.
Same people? Same guys?
Drew and Paul have joined the ranks.
Ooh.
So if we don't get this with the 2 of them in it, I don't know what are we doing, right? So this is me putting out a call to Paul and Andrew and Tyler and whoever else wants to take their shirts off. shirts off, sun's out, guns out. You know what I'm saying?
I know. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
Great.
Cool.
Great. Okay, you can take the picture now.
But do you want us to? I mean, we can keep it up. We can keep it up.
Take it.
I
I printed it out. It's my new wallpaper.
Before we get into next week, if you have questions, comments, or can't believe that we felt how we felt or didn't feel how we felt, I don't know.
Yeah.
You can email us at remarktheshow@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Remark the Show.
Yeah. Well, I didn't mean to do that. I really didn't mean to do that.
You can follow them.
I'm doing something. I'm doing something.
Wait, do you want it?
Yeah, I'm doing something. Keep going, Mike.
Oh, you're working in the background. Do we plug? Shall we plug?
Yeah, plug. You guys go first.
Mike, go ahead and plug. I will say, when we were doing some back and forth, you were in the midst of Meaneth Girls, and I was very jealous. I was very jealous.
With Dwayne Hill, the original Coach Carr was there. So yeah, we had our drunk text show where we do classical text or text-based classical and play drinking games and have a lot of fun time. You don't even you have to drink. You can just come and show and revel. And speaking of revelry and this show and the holiday season, we have our drunk text Christmas Carol with puppets coming in December. They do sell out fast, so if you're in the New York area, December 20th and 21st. And we might be adding dates because they're already selling. So at the Rat, which is my new theater that I own in Brooklyn. Uh-oh.
There it is.
Look at this. Look at this mess that's about. Yeah. Oh, nice. Okay.
So your plug is clearly over now. So
I didn't mean it for it. I don't know what I'm doing on the back end of this.
It's okay.
I'm sorry, Mike.
Take it away.
Guys, I have a little show starting Black Friday at CSC Philadelphia called Hallmarkable, which is an improvised Hallmark holiday movie.
Love it. Love it.
And I'm putting it out there. I'm still pitching it that if any Hallmark star wants to come and be in this improvised show, we will welcome you with open arms and charge more at the door to get in so we can give you a little bit of money.
Yeah.
I saw somebody who said they're really going to try to be there that is Hallmark affiliated.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to blow up their spot, so I'm not going to.
No, I'm not going to make them feel bad, but
text me at least. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's I hope.
Cool. Yeah, don't spoil. Yeah, great. I love it. Keep it.
Great. How do I get at it? I go back to us? Oh, I didn't mean to. Oh, I put that in us. I see what I did.
You put that in. You put. Oh God, now we're all over.
I want to plug Benjamin Collinsworth.
We don't know what.
I like that vest. Does he wear that in the? I like that.
They changed this. What did they?
Kristin, I don't.
We need to. I think this is where this is.
Right. Oh, jeez.
I'm clicking it now, but
yeah, take over, Mike.
There we go. Hey, we're back.
Not even touching it at this point.
There are awesome movies, hopefully awesome movies coming out next week. We have Christmas on Call, which is Donna Kelsey's first Hallmark film of the season. Two of them. That's our Eagles one. And then Three Wiser Men and a Baby is on Saturday night, and To Have and To Holiday is on Sunday night. So we will check those all out and review them and be back here.
I think I'll be live watching Saturdays.
Oh, nice.
Are you? Okay. Oh, yeah.
I think so. Okay. Am I doing anything? What's Saturday?
I don't know. Am I?
I bartended with Sedarius Blaine, who was in the Call one, Christmas on Call. So
For real?
Yeah, we were really good friends at the time. So maybe I'll shoot him a little text. We haven't spoken in a bit, but looks at it. I just realized he was in this. So Sedarius, if you're watching, I'll text you.
Oh my God, if he watches this,
yeah, and he's like, "What's that guy?"
I love when we do that. We're like, "Oh my gosh, if you're watching," and it's like, what do we think we are? Good Day America? Like what?
Listen, if you speak it.
Do you mean Good Morning America, or
what's Good Day America?
I don't think that's a thing. I don't know what Good Day America is. That's the I believe that's the Australian show about.
No, is that the Ben Schwartz? Is that the Ben Schwartz, Lauren Lapkus?
Oh yeah, what was that called? That was the earliest show.
Anyway, we have segued so far from everything. But folks, thanks for tuning in.
We were so close to a tight 60 minutes.
Nah. Let's go over by 2 minutes. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Pick out red one.
Stop with the red one.
Chris Evans.